All right, I have an easy story writing exercise. Okay, maybe it's not easy. I recently thought about an exercise that one of my teachers used to make us do when I was in art school. What he used to make us do, we used to have to do, I guess for like character design classes, we used to have to create like a backstory or something and come up with an interesting character. But the way that he used to make us do it, and this is actually a pretty good technique for anybody that's having trouble coming up with a story or an idea, take two entirely non-related things. I don't know, I'd say for example, write down a bunch of animals, right? And cut out, like write them down on a sheet of paper and cut out each individual animal, like so that they're written on like a bunch of small sheets of paper, and put it in like a hat or something. And take another sheet of paper and write down, I don't know, a bunch of occupations or sports, anything, but write something completely unrelated to an animal. Let's say for example it was sports, and write down a bunch of sports and cut those out and put that in a different hat or put that somewhere else. Shake them up and then pull out one for each, and whatever you come up with, write a story pertaining to the two things that you pull out of those items. It'll actually start to train you to come up with some interesting ideas, and it'll force you to think outside the box, especially if you come up with something like a bear in figure skating or something crazy, or like a grasshopper in basketball. Like, it'll actually train you to start thinking way outside of the box and coming up with some unique ideas. And it doesn't have to be animals, and it doesn't have to be sports. Of course, they could be any two unrelated things, but just try that. Find like two things that's like closely related to you, or two interests of yours, and just start thinking of things pertaining to whatever you're into, and then just randomly start picking stuff from it and trying to combine the two things to see if you can create a story or write a short story about it. Just like I say, just as like a drawing exercise to sharpen your mind every now and then. Just try it and see how it works. And actually, if you wanted to create a real story from it, if you were trying to create like a novel or a comic book or whatever you're trying to do, you could actually use it to come up with real stories the exact same way. It's actually a really interesting technique, and it's a lot of fun when you start trying it. So I'm out.